BBCF is better than BBTAG, and that's on facts. So would you like to No, BBCF is king, BBTAG is garbo. I understand that you feel that way, but aren't they two different? Nah, bro, shut up. Go play CF, you Ruby lover and loser. This is how my brain goes after every interaction like that I've had on the internet since BBTAG released.
Alright, who's next?
Let's see who's stronger.
What's good and what's poppin', everyone? It's Yaya back like I never left with a spicy Blazblue video today. I'm going to jump straight to the point. I am kinda getting tired of the gatekeeping nature where Arc System Works games, the newcomers, and the toxic nature behind newer installments. This video can also kinda pertain to the Guilty Gear Strive vs Guilty Gear Xrd situation as well, but I'll do that for another day. Many complaints about new fighting games like BBTAG and Strive are weird because the developers have stated multiple times that this is going to be different from the mainline games anyway after they revealed the said game. Do you have to agree with it? No. However, hear me out. The goal of these newer fighting games is also trying to keep the competitive integrity, but also trying to get newcomers and streamline the series. Is it for the better? Is it for the worse? Depends on how you like the new games or if you like how older games were. But regardless, there's always going to be that one man in the comments that will go, but if they want to try something new, why not make a new IP? Alright, so I gotta do this. Oh my god. Let's look at Unignited Birth. You know how long Unignited Birth's been around and it's slowly getting the recognition it deserves, even from the scene? I feel like Unignited Birth started gaining the most peak traffic after EVO 2019. You know, its first EVO run. With Unignited Birth, there's barely any people playing the game casually, to be honest with you. And to be honest, Unignited been around for almost 7 years prior to the Unis EVO 2019 run. Making a new IP, especially within Arc System Works, is a huge risky move. It requires a lot more time and build up than using something established and trying from there. Fighting games are very niche today still. Even though they seem like they're getting more popular, they're niche compared to all the other spectrum of video games that we have out here. So making a game within a niche genre and then try to make something new within the niche just sounds like bad business and just a waste of time and effort. Like the 2D fighting game market kinda already saturated and many titles are already established. It's getting harder by the day to simply just make a new IP. I would honestly try something new with my own established IP and telling people this is going to be different, which, by the way, Arc System Works did twice with 2 of their recent games, and then making a new IP. And nobody knows with potentially amazing gameplay and outstanding fighting game mechanics. Then there's going to be somebody in the comments that's going to say, well, they should have just called it Cross Tag Battle. I want you to raise your hand if you actually gonna buy a fighting game called Cross Tag Battle. That don't even sound appealing, like saying it. Like, no, that's not it. That's like asking your mom what chips you want from the store and you say, oh yeah, I want the yellow chips. What brand? What type of yellow chips? Do you want Ruffles? Do you want Lay's? Y'all get the point, man. What I'm also tired of is people coming on other people's tweets, posts, videos, saying stuff like, man, I'm tired of BBTAG. I just want this game to die so I get my definitive Blazblue Central Fiction 2, or as I've seen on my channel multiple times, definitive Blazblue experience. Number 1, you are free to do whatever you want. But it's getting to the point to either not making sense, being toxic, and why go to a place you hate? It's kind of like going to the store, looking for the most disgusting cereal you hate, and saying, oh, I hate this, I want that. Why'd you waste that time? And you could also still go play older games. If you want to build up a community for people to play Central Fiction, hell, Calamity Trigger if you want to. Find some people to play that game with, get it popping. Also, Blazblue Central Fiction is literally having tournaments every week, and don't forget to mention, it's still a part of the Arc Revel Online Japan. So there's content for Blazblue Central Fiction in the works. at least from the competitive scene. It's the internet. People are always going to be toxic, but at this point, the world is changing. I feel like it doesn't have to be that way anymore. Yeah, there's always going to be trolls and people just doing whatever they want, but within a scene that's low-key niche, it kind of drives many people away that wants to try the newer things. Alright, enough of the Toxicity Rant, but let's talk about why Blazblue Central Fiction players hate BBTAG. Number 1, Simplified Mechanics. Alright, I'll be honest with y'all. Y'all know my reaction to the Evo reveal of Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. It was super hype because it was pushing my senses to want to play more Blazblue. I already played NNID and Birth casually with my friends in the past. I already loved Persona 4 Arena, and like Ruby is one of my favorite things. Even with Volume 7, get mad at me. Alright, I still think it's a pretty fun, amazing thing to look at. I ain't got time for y'all Ruby haters out here. I'm a shield, regardless. But obviously, a lot of people thought the game was going to have the depth of Central Fiction, but with the hyper fighting tag mechanics. Even though I remember after the reveal at EVO 2017, Mori did state otherwise, that this will be a different game compared to Central Fiction and the past predecessors. In terms of quantity of mechanics and things to do and the freedom in Blazblue Central Fiction, yes, Central Fiction has the edge over BBTAG, with mechanics like rapid cancels, more dash cancelable moves, far more complex inputs, etc. While BBTAG has no rapid cancels and instead uses a far more simplified special move and distortion drive inputs. Also, another thing, the DPs in BBTAG are just 2 buttons. However, for where BBTAG lacks, I also feel like BBTAG also does some cool things that recently got people into fighting games, or got around into fighting games around the end of the PS3 era. The cross gauge system is so fun to me because this game could have just been brain deaded as hell, but you could also punish people if they don't understand the system and automatically switch out in danger. It's like a cool balance of offensive defense, and I really do value stuff like that. Number 2, the nerfed characters and experiences. Now, I'll be honest with you, I 100% agree with this, but I'll explain why I understand and resonate with this point, but there is some hypocritical or missing logic as I throw up air quotes as I say this, with this down the road. This is not just Blazblue Central Fiction characters select in BBTAG ordeal, this could come from all the other universes in Blazblue Cross Tag Battle as well. If you guys remember a month ago, I was even like, dang, can we get Persona 4 Arena OT Max ported on current generation consoles? Pushing a hashtag. So it's why you barely see me ever touch them in videos or in this game, because the Persona 4 version of the characters are some of my favorite characters in a fighting game, and they're not really that fun to play to me, honestly, in BBTAG. Also, my close homie, Eternal Oblivion 96, literally plays Naoto Kurogane in Blazblue Central Fiction and Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. And obviously, when you practice something for so long and get hand cramps and striving, the inside Naoto joke, then having a simplified version of your favorite characters and its moveset, it sucks and it hurts. Seriously, I can explain this from my perspective, from the community I was before I started playing anime fighting games. I've been playing Sonic the Hedgehog, yeah, you call me toxic, throw it at me, whatever you want to say, since Super Smash Bros. Brawl released back in 2008. My favorite version of Sonic personally was Smash Wii U Sonic, because all the spin dash cancels in that game, and he had a combo setup that I really loved in Smash Wii U and 3DS. It's kind of non-existent to like, and Ultimate, and for like a year, I really didn't like Ultimate that much because it really didn't benefit my playstyle as a game altogether, and Sonic for once in like 10 years was not clicking with me in that game. So don't believe me, I honestly do agree with that point. One thing I found weird about fighting games and some of its players in 2020 is that they could be a little hypocritical, hypothetical, and I'm just saying, sometimes hypocrites, alright? People say, man, this game is lame, but pick up one of the easiest characters in older or more execution heavy games. Or also get mad at people for picking the easy mode characters in older or more execution heavy games, the ones that you grown to love. It's like, dang, you cannot win for losing with this community sometimes. Like, let me give y'all an example. If I were to play Blazblue Central Fiction right now, there's always going to be that guy that's going to go, lol, he plays my, and I'm like, dog, can anyone be happy nowadays? It's like that with every fighting game. No matter if you pick the easiest character, if you pick the hardest character, you always lose. If you pick the easy character, they're just like, dang, bro, he just picked the top tier, or he just picked the easy character that does low mash button, you know. And I just don't understand the hate for like it's kind of weird to me. Like, you hate the simplified game, but you get mad at people for picking the simplified characters in the harder game. It's like, you can't wait for you choosing. What if you just generally like the character? You get what I'm saying? So that's that. And the last thing I'm going to say is the DLC controversy. Alright, when this game was in like pre-release, there was also not only the FGC getting upset, but people who don't even play fighting games, or what people would say, the casuals, getting pissed off as well. Don't get me wrong, I love Blazblue Cross Tag Battle and its community, but it was justified to an extent that the rage that came out of it was deserved. When the game launched, it was 20 base characters and everybody was like, okay, cool, that's a wonderful roster. You know, 20 characters with Arc System Works on launch, that's fire. And then they said 20 DLC characters and everybody was like, damn! Then at one point, I believe they tried to charge for Yang and Blake for DLC. Like, that's literally 50% of the title characters. Because each letter, if you don't know or watch RWBY, they all stand for a character. And, bro, I'm not even gonna get into that because I will tweak off that. One of my huge criticisms with Blazblue Cross Tag Battle is how you gonna hype up RWBY being a part of the Fates, but after 2 to 3 years, we only get one new RWBY character. Yes, I understand sprites are work, budgeting might be tight, and it could be Rooster Teeth's involvement, etc. But like, you could have easily communicated with the amount of RWBY characters. If y'all meant RWBY, then y'all should have just said these 4 girls. Listen, I'm getting upset again. Okay, things I dislike about Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. Do not sleep. There are a few things I dislike about BBTAG's gameplay. I do not like the grab that it makes you run forward. I think that's kind of hand-holding too much for my taste regardless. Also, I dislike the DP and push block are essentially tied to the same button. Like, damn, there are more buttons on the controller, let me map them separately. However, as much as I've hated it, I grew to just say it's a gripe now because the more I played the game, the more I learned to deal with it. But listen, here's my final verdict. Which game is better? It's really hard to say which game is obviously better because it all comes down to your preferences. BBTAG might win some people over for the character roster. Can't say that's not true because if you remember Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and how people flipped, because the game also did look ugly, you know. While the more intricacies, the execution, the freedom of Blazblue Central Fiction may be your cup of tea, might be your taste, or the ability, you might like 1v1 more than team-based and synergy-like games overall, or just hyper fighting. I am biased here, to be honest, because anything that looks like these games is more my cup of tea, because even though I'm not a Chris G or a Justin Wong, chaotic hyper fighting gameplay is so appealing to me, unless it's based on something I really like, superheroes, anime, etc. I like team-based games, 2v2 or 3v3 games more so than 1v1, especially if I feel like it's kind of slow to me. That's just my preference with fighting games. I guess what I'm trying to say is they're two different games. Everyone has a preference when it comes to the gameplay. A lot of people play the game they like. Understand, BBTAG has more problems, so I do understand that you can possibly just hate that game overall way more. But playing both games are actually fun. If you hate it, it's your opinion, do whatever you like, but to be honest, does it matter to you at the end of the day if you're just having fun with the game? And I think people forget that they're video games before competitive machines, you get what I'm saying? So, if it's not fun to you, period, why play it in the first place, right? Only thing Blazblue Central Fiction, I will say, has over BBTAG is the dang invite button in lobbies. My god, Japanese devs, please start incorporating this on the systems that allow it. I'm so tired of telling people to type in the code to just play the game when I could have just invited them before they hopped on the game and they could have been there instantly. It is a very time-wasting experience. I feel like just giving me the power to just hit R2 and then hit the button, type my friend name in, and they got the invite. Most fighting games that done this on PS4, if something happens in the match, you DC, you could use the same invite and they could get back into the match instantly. Jesus Christ. So for that matter, Blazblue Central Fiction might be better than Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. This game still has a player base on it, even early in the morning when all the odds are stacked against it with Blazblue Cross Tag Battle. Yo, that being said, it's your boy Avataryaya. Follow me on Twitter at avataryayaTV. Get updates, me rambling about video games and just anime and stuff like that. on air. And also, remember, you guys are golden, and that is raw. Squalla, peace, and I'm out.
I've been the devil, I need me a arc in the heart of my breathing, I feel like Tanjiro. Walking this bitch with a Zampato, I'll let you rock it, I keep me a domino. Bitch, on my dick, man, I feel like Kazaki, stretching that pussy out like it's Pilates. I'm snatching the soul right out of her body. Fire, I spitting, I'm feeling like Dobby. White bitch, blonde hair, looking like Lucy. She from Kyoshi, I paint her face Suki.